People eventually find comfort in being alone. But why does this happen? As we age, meeting with others becomes increasingly burdensome. When the phone rings, we don't want to answer it. When someone suggests making plans, our hearts feel heavy. This wasn't the case when we were young. What has changed us? Today, we'll explore the real answer to this question. We'll discuss the meaning of solitude that comes after midlife and the true reasons. Why being alone becomes comfortable. First, let's clarify something important. Finding comfort in solitude doesn't mean we've lost our humanity. It doesn't mean our character has deteriorated either. This is a natural process of psychological maturation. In our younger years, we tried to maintain good relationships with everyone. Family, friends, colleagues, even strangers we just met. We worked hard to make good impressions. We did things we didn't want to do because we felt bad about saying no. And we agreed with opinions that differed from our own. But as time passes, we realize how exhausting it is to try to satisfy everyone. As Aristotle said, a friend to all is a friend to none. There's a fundamental energy principle in human relationships. To be sustainable, there must be a balance of giving and receiving. But what's the reality? How many relationships are there where we only give without receiving? According to research by psychologists, social needs decrease after midlife. This is called socio-emotional selectivity theory. As we age, we prioritize quality over quantity in relationships. Why does this change occur? The reason is simple. We become aware of the finite nature of time. When we realize we don't have much time left, we naturally become selective. We want to invest our time and energy only in what truly matters. When we were young, we thought time was infinite. So we tried to maintain every relationship and seize every opportunity. But now it's different. The time for choice and focus has arrived. The fatigue from human relationships is more complex than we think. It's not simply that we dislike people, but because of the emotional labor required to maintain relationships. Every time we meet someone, we unconsciously do many things. We gauge their mood, show appropriate reactions, and try to avoid conflict. All these processes consume energy. When we were young, we had abundant energy. Socializing itself was enjoyable. But as we age, we realize this energy is limited, so we want to use it more carefully. French philosopher Jean-Paul Sartre said, "Hell is other people." While this is an extreme expression, there's truth in it. The stress from relationships with others can sometimes be unbearably intense. Especially after midlife, our tolerance for such distress diminishes. Things we could endure when young become difficult to bear. Others' rudeness, selfishness, and thoughtlessness affect us more than before. This isn't because we've become overly sensitive. Rather, we've become clearer. Our judgment about what's right and wrong, valuable and worthless, has become sharper. The complexity of human relationships becomes more apparent as we age. We begin to see people's hidden sides and sense calculations that aren't openly displayed. We realize that what seemed like pure relationships are actually entangled with interests. Such realizations can sometimes feel cynical, but this is part of the maturation process. We're learning to see reality as it truly is. Lao Tzu emphasized Wu Wei, the importance of not forcing things. The same applies to human relationships. We realize how unnatural it is to force ourselves to conform, smile artificially, and endure unnecessarily. So what does solitude mean? It's not simply being alone. Solitude is freedom. Freedom from others' expectations and judgmental gazes. When we're alone, we can remove our masks. We don't need to perform the image we want others to see. We can be our authentic selves. The liberation that this freedom brings can only be understood by those who've experienced it. A state where no one judges us. No one expects anything from us. Time and space entirely for ourselves. When we were young, such time felt boring and lonely. We felt alive only when we were with someone. But as we age, we realize the value of this time. In solitude, we meet our true selves. The pure self that isn't influenced by others. This encounter can sometimes be uncomfortable, but it's very important. True growth is impossible without meeting oneself. Without relying on others' evaluations and standards, we cannot know who we are or what we want. Philosopher Blaise Pascal said, "All of humanity's problems stem from man's inability to sit quietly in a room alone. This means we suffer because we can't bear being alone, creating unnecessary meetings and suffering as a result. Another gift that solitude brings is inner growth. In our alone time, we get the opportunity to think. Deep thinking, reflection, and the chance to gain wisdom. When we're with others, we must constantly react. We must converse, empathize, and show enjoyment. But when alone, we don't need to do this. We can focus entirely on our inner selves. As this time accumulates, we become deeper. We stop being swayed by superficial things and begin pursuing what's essential. This is the wisdom of midlife. Countless philosophers and thinkers have gained great insights in solitude. Socrates, Buddha, Jesus, and Confucius all found enlightenment through solitary time. Solitude is also a source of creation. When alone, new ideas emerge and solutions to problems become visible. This is possible because we're not disturbed by others' noise. Midlife solitude is qualitatively different from youthful loneliness. Young loneliness was pain from deficiency, but midlife solitude is peace from fulfillment. This difference is very important. Loneliness from deficiency is an empty space that needs to be filled, but solitude from fulfillment is a complete state in itself. Why does this change occur? As life experience accumulates, we come to know ourselves sufficiently. We can recognize our own worth without others' approval or confirmation. When we were young, we confirmed ourselves through others. We judged whether we were loved, recognized, or important through others' reactions, but now it's different. Self-respect is independent of others' evaluations. How I think of myself is everything. When we reach this realization, others' gazes or evaluations become less important. This is the core reason why solitude becomes comfortable. Because we don't need to depend on others. For those who know they're sufficient as themselves, solitude is not a threat but a choice. More important than relationships is this self-respect. Healthy relationships are based on self-respect. Those who don't respect themselves cannot properly respect others. Many people try to gain self-respect through relationships, but this reverses the order. We must first respect ourselves for healthy relationships to be possible. When self-respect is established, our attitude toward relationships also changes. We become less desperate. We no longer fear relationships ending because we know we can be happy alone. This confidence paradoxically creates better relationships. Because we don't cling to others, we appear more attractive and can form genuine relationships. German philosopher Arthur Schopenhauer spoke of the hedgehog's dilemma. In cold winter, hedgehogs approach each other for warmth. But when they get too close, they're pricked by each other's spines and move apart again. Human relationships are similar. Appropriate distance is necessary. Not too close, not too far. Knowing this distance is a sign of maturity. Solitude is related to this ability to maintain appropriate distance. Those who feel comfortable being alone can also maintain proper distance in relationships with others. Looking at history, most great thinkers loved solitude. They engaged in deep thought through their alone time and, as a result, left precious wisdom for humanity. Socrates emphasized the importance of the examined life. He said a life without examination isn't worth living. Such examination is possible in solitary time. Buddha gained enlightenment while meditating alone under the Bodhi tree. Jesus discovered his mission while praying alone in the wilderness for 40 days. These great figures all treasured solitary time. Their common trait was that they all valued solitary time. They knew that being alone wasn't simply rest, but an opportunity for growth. Modern psychologists also recognize the value of solitude. Solitude reduces stress, enhances creativity, and improves self-awareness. Especially after midlife, this value of solitude shines even brighter. After running through the first half of life, we need time to prepare for the second half. In our alone time, we can look back on our lives so far and set directions for the future. Without such reflection, true maturity is impossible. So what are the real reasons why being alone becomes comfortable? Summarizing what we've discussed, we can find several key reasons. First, the law of energy conservation. As we age, our energy becomes limited. We choose carefully where to spend this precious energy. Being alone is the most efficient way to conserve energy. Second, the pursuit of authenticity. Acting in front of others becomes tiresome. We choose to live as our real selves rather than wearing masks. Third, the pursuit of simplicity. We prefer simple living over complex human relationships. We discover true peace in simplicity. Fourth, the desire for self-completion. We stop trying to complete ourselves through others and strive to become whole on our own. Fifth, recognizing the preciousness of time. Knowing we don't have much time left, we want to focus only on what truly matters. All these reasons combine to make being alone feel comfortable. This is a natural process of psychological evolution. Another important reason is emotional stability. Being with others exposes us to unpredictable emotional changes. But being alone eliminates such variables. After midlife, we value emotional stability even more. We prefer quiet tranquility over dramatic emotional ups and downs. When alone, we can live at our own rhythm. We don't need to match others' pace. The freedom this brings is incomprehensible unless experienced. From waking up in the morning to falling asleep at night, we can decide everything according to our own will. The satisfaction that such autonomy brings cannot be exchanged for anything else. According to modern neuroscience research, when we're alone, the brain's default mode network becomes active. During this time, the brain rests and recovers while simultaneously enabling creative thinking. This scientifically supports the importance of alone time. Our brains are designed to need solitary time. Especially after midlife, such brain rest becomes even more important. Because brain recovery speed slows compared to youth, sufficient rest and recharging are necessary. Why do humans, social animals, come to seek solitude? This relates to individual maturity. The more mature a person is, the more they value their own time. According to psychologist Maslow's hierarchy of needs, the highest human stage is self-actualization. People who reach this stage pursue self-realization rather than others' recognition. Finding comfort in solitude after midlife may be a sign of evolving toward this self-actualization stage. It means no longer depending on others' gazes or evaluations. This is a very healthy change. It's evidence of growing into a self-reliant and independent being. People who enjoy solitude share several common characteristics. They mostly have strong self-confidence, abundant inner resources, and emotional stability. They also form more authentic and deeper relationships because they pursue quality over quantity. Those who find being alone comfortable also think more creatively and independently. They don't easily sway to others' opinions and have their own judgment criteria. This doesn't mean they completely reject social relationships. When necessary, they skillfully engage in social activities. But the difference is that it's a choice, not an obligation. This change in attitude improves the quality of relationships because they maintain only relationships they genuinely want, not forced ones. Midlife solitude is sometimes misunderstood. People around them might think they're lonely or lack social skills. But this is a great misconception. True solitude is the opposite of loneliness. Loneliness is a state of craving others, but solitude is a state of having a satisfying relationship with oneself. Understanding this difference is important. Viewing those who enjoy solitude as objects of pity is a wrong perspective. Rather, those who can enjoy solitude are truly mature people, because they have the ability to be happy without depending on others. Such people also show healthier aspects in relationships. They don't cling to others, maintain appropriate distance, and create mutually respectful relationships. Through alone time, we also learn another important thing, the value of silence. In modern society surrounded by constant noise and stimulation, silence is like treasure. In silence, we can find true rest. The noise of the mind settles, and we can listen to our inner voice. As this silent time accumulates, we become wiser. We reduce unnecessary words and actions and focus only on what's truly important. Ralph Waldo Emerson said, "The cure for anything is salt water, sweat, tears, or the sea. True wisdom grows in silence." Midlife solitude is time to cultivate this wisdom of silence. Time to escape the world's noise and meet our true selves in our own quiet space. Another reason being alone becomes comfortable is freedom from comparison. When with others, we naturally compare ourselves. But when alone, such comparison doesn't exist. Comparison is the root of unhappiness. No matter how good we have it, when compared to others, it seems insufficient. But when alone, we can escape this trap of comparison. We can live by our own standards. Without being swayed by others' success or happiness, we can walk our own path at our own pace. The freedom this brings is truly great. We can escape competition and live our own lives. In solitude, we can also cultivate gratitude. Because we don't compare with others, we come to know the true value of what we have. Health, family, home, small daily pleasures. We realize how precious these things are in our alone time. Gratitude is the foundation of happiness. Those who can appreciate what they have can be happy without having more. Another gift of alone time is the opportunity for self-healing. As we live, we receive various wounds, big and small. Such wounds don't heal properly in our busy daily lives. But in solitary time, we can look back on these wounds and heal them. We can cry alone and get angry alone, purifying our emotions. This healing process cannot be done by others. It's something only we can do for ourselves. That's why solitary time is even more precious. Jung, the father of psychoanalysis, emphasized the importance of the individualization process. This refers to the process by which the self, buried in the collective, grows into an independent individual. Midlife solitude is the core of this individualization process. We no longer try to conform ourselves to others' expectations or society's norms. We begin the journey to find our true selves. During this process, we sometimes experience confusion. We question the way we've lived so far and need to find new paths. But this confusion is a sign of growth. To become a butterfly, one must go through the chrysalis stage. Midlife solitude is similar. It's an essential process for being born as a more mature self. In our alone time, we also think about death. This might seem depressing, but it's actually very important reflection. Reflection on death clarifies life's priorities. We learn what's truly important and where we should spend our time. Heidegger explained this through the concept of being toward death. True life begins when we recognize the possibility of death. After midlife, such existential reflection naturally occurs, and such reflection mostly happens in solitary time. There are also biological reasons why being alone becomes comfortable. As we age, hormonal changes reduce social needs. Particularly the secretion of hormones related to social bonding, like oxytocin and dopamine, decreases. This is part of the natural aging process. While social relationships were important for reproduction and survival when young, this necessity decreases with age. Instead, the importance of neurotransmitters related to stability, like serotonin and GABA, increases. These substances are better secreted during solitary time. Therefore, preferring solitude after midlife is also valid from a neuroscientific perspective. Our brains are evolving to seek more peaceful and stable states. When alone, we also experience the flow of time differently. When with others, time passes quickly or slowly. But when alone, time flows at our own rhythm. This time experience is very precious. We can recover our own sense of time and truly stay in the present. The effects of mindfulness and meditation are also related to this. By focusing on the present moment in solitary time, we can achieve peace of mind. Modern society demands constant stimulation and speed, but our minds struggle to keep up with this pace. This becomes even more true as we age. Solitary time allows us to escape modern society's pace and find our own rhythm. We can live slowly, leisurely, at our own pace. Another characteristic of people who feel comfortable being alone is their excellent internal dialogue ability. They have developed the ability to talk with themselves, to ask questions and find answers. This internal dialogue is a very important ability. It enables us to solve problems and find direction without others' advice or help. Socrates' "Know thyself" emphasized exactly this importance of internal dialogue. True self-awareness is impossible without dialogue with oneself. Midlife solitude is the optimal time to develop this internal dialogue ability. It's time to escape external noise and listen to our inner selves. People who enjoy solitude also understand the aesthetics of simplicity. They find beauty in simple rather than complex things. They find satisfaction in less rather than more. This pursuit of simplicity aligns with minimalist living and Zen philosophy. It's a way of life that removes unnecessary things and keeps only what's truly important. Simple living gives more freedom. With fewer things to manage, we can use time and energy. These activities allow deeper immersion when done alone rather than with others. Because we can completely immerse ourselves in our own world without worrying about others' gazes or evaluations. Creative activity is an important means of self-actualization. We can feel deep satisfaction in the process of creating something uniquely our own. After midlife, this creative desire becomes even stronger. Because we pursue personal meaning rather than social achievement. In solitude, we also explore spirituality. Separate from religious beliefs, we think deeply about life's meaning and purpose. This spiritual exploration also mostly occurs during alone time. It's possible when we can go deep into our inner selves without external noise and disturbance. Spirituality becomes more important as we age, because we feel a thirst that cannot be filled by material achievements alone. The final reason being alone becomes comfortable is freedom itself. We come to taste true freedom. Freedom from others' expectations, society's norms, and conventional obligations. This freedom comes with responsibility. Freedom where we must take full responsibility for our choices. But such responsible freedom is the true freedom of adults. When young, such freedom was sometimes scary. It was burdensome to judge and decide for ourselves without others' guidance or advice. But as we age, we realize the value of such freedom. We come to accept that we and no one else are the masters of our own lives. When we reach this realization, being alone isn't lonely. Rather, it becomes time spent with our most authentic selves. So how should we use our alone time? First, try having time when you do nothing. Time to just sit and think or space out. Modern people suffer from the compulsion to constantly do something. But sometimes doing nothing can be the most productive activity. In time when we do nothing, our minds calm down, new ideas emerge, and solutions to problems become visible. Second, have time for dialogue with yourself. Write in a journal or talk to yourself, organizing your thoughts and emotions. Such self-dialogue helps increase self-understanding, purify emotions, and set future directions. Third, do what you truly love. Do what you enjoy purely, without worrying about others' gazes or evaluations. Through such activities, you can discover your true self. Your appearance when not conscious of others is your real self. Fourth, reflect on your past, present, and future. Look back on the life you've lived, examine your current situation, and plan for the future. Such reflection helps clarify life's direction and set priorities. Finally, have time for gratitude. Be grateful for what you have, what you've experienced, and the people you've met. Gratitude enriches the heart, enhances happiness, and leads to a more positive outlook on life. If alone time feels lonely or depressing, it might be because you haven't yet become friends with yourself. Becoming friends with yourself also requires practice. Start with short periods at first. Try having 10 or 20 minutes of alone time each day. Gradually increase this time and get used to being alone. If you feel anxious or restless when alone, that's a natural reaction. You've been accustomed to being with others for a long time, but this anxiety will gradually decrease over time. As you experience the benefits of being alone, you'll actually start looking forward to this time. The important thing is to enjoy alone time without guilt. Not socializing with others doesn't make you selfish or antisocial. Rather, people who have healthy relationships with themselves can have healthy relationships with others, because self-love is the foundation of loving others. Let me summarize the reasons why being alone becomes comfortable as we age. First, efficient use of energy. We want to use our limited energy where it truly matters. Second, pursuit of authenticity. We choose to live as our real selves rather than wearing masks. Third, pursuit of simplicity. We want simple peace rather than complex relationships. Fourth, desire for self-completion. We pursue our own growth rather than through others. Fifth, preciousness of time. Knowing we don't have much time left, we want to use it carefully. Sixth, pursuit of emotional stability. We prefer predictable and peaceful states. Seventh, pursuit of freedom. We want to escape others' expectations and social pressures. Eighth, need for self-healing. We need time to look back on and heal past wounds. Ninth, desire for spiritual growth. We want to explore life's deeper meanings. 10th, desire for creative activity. We want to create something uniquely our own. All these reasons make being alone comfortable. This is a natural and healthy change. If you've only been accustomed to socializing with others, now discover the value of being alone. It might be awkward at first, but you'll gradually learn its charm. You'll realize that being alone isn't lonely, but enriching. You'll experience deep encounters with yourself, inner peace, and true freedom. You've done well enough so far. You've sacrificed much for others and worked hard to create good relationships. Now it's okay to have time for yourself. Enjoying being alone isn't selfish. Rather, it's a more mature and wise choice. People who have healthy relationships with themselves can have healthier relationships with others. This is the real reason why being alone becomes comfortable as we age. We discover our true selves, find inner peace, and gain the wisdom to live our own lives. This is the wisdom of midlife solitude. The ability to not be lonely even when alone, to be sufficiently happy even when alone. This is one of the most precious gifts we can receive in life. I hope today's discussion brought you some comfort. Don't be ashamed of your alone time. Rather, cherish and enjoy that time. Please share your thoughts in the comments and support us with subscriptions and likes. We'll return with better stories next time. Thank you.